Hey everybody, welcome to Video Game Corner. It's me, Jason, and today I figured I'd sit down and talk about some of the PS3 games that I like. I'm only going to talk about four of them, but these are games I actually enjoy, and they're not. I figured I wouldn't pick every single game. These aren't necessarily. Only one of these is my favorite PS3 game, but the other three, they're just kind of there in my favorites. First game I'd like to talk about is it's a little unknown game for the PS3, as far as I understand. Nobody's really talked about it much, and it's called Viking: Battle for Asgard. In Viking, you play as this Viking named Skarin, and you basically play in these three open-world environments. And you go around, you can find all these little camps and kill the bad guys, which are basically the armies of hell. And that's H-E-L, not H-E-L-L. I guess it's the goddess of the underworld, or the the goddess of the underworld, because you fight her as the final boss. And it's there's dragons in the game, and you can discover all these different areas. So it's a pretty cool game. Just for that, the environments are really cool. It's not like Skyrim or any of those other open world games, but it's pretty cool. It's funny, when I got this game, I was just in GameStop looking around for just anything. It's about the time when I first started playing the PS3. When I got back into gaming after when I first got sick. And it was like $6, and I saw it, and it's made by Sega, but and I've noticed a lot of Sega games just aren't as good as they used to be. A lot of the current gen Sega games just aren't all that great. But yeah, this game turned out to be really good, and I just really had a lot of fun with it. So if you guys, if my opinion means anything, pick it up, give it a try. It's still pretty cheap over at GameStop. Nothing, and like I said, and the thing is, there's nothing great about it. It's just good. So, the next game I'd like to talk about is Splatterhouse, and this game's pretty cool. Just like in the old Splatterhouse, you play as Rick and you're trying to save your girlfriend. And the difference between this and the old games, is of course it's the graphics, things like that. But there's more story to this than there was in the original games. And it's your basic hack and slash, and it's a pretty gory game. And there's some parts where you really start going, and there's like blood. The blood hits the screen like the camera, and it's pretty cool. And then you also have like these right here, these quick time. They're kind of like quick time events basically, and you do things like, but they're pretty simple. You rip like arms off, and then you can pick the arms up and beat them. Start beating the enemies with it, which is always cool. That old joke, I'm gonna rip your arm off and beat you with it. Stuff like that. And, there's basically, you're trying to, you get everything bloodied up, and then the other cool thing is, as you can see on Rick, as he gets beat up, he starts to, sometimes his arm can get ripped off and it has to grow back, and then his ribs are hanging out, things like that. It's a really fun game, and a lot of, it's, and then you can find pictures of your girlfriend and they're nude and stuff, and it's kind of just... It's like, kind of cool, I guess. I mean, if you're into that, but it's just, it's just got a lot of, hack and slash. It's just fun if you just want a lot of mindless violence. Yeah, so I ended up, I really like the Splatterhouse series. I have the first two games. I have the first game for the TurboGrafx 16. And I have the second game for the Genesis complete. I'm only missing the third game. The cool thing is on this set, you got all three. You unlock, as you play through the game regularly, you unlock all three of the original games. And it's not the TurboGrafx version; you get the arcade version. and they're pretty fun to play. You can sit down, you know, and then it has the 2 Genesis versions. It's a pretty fun game. It is true. A lot of the critics didn't really like this, and a lot of gamers didn't like this game, and a lot of them complained about the long loading times, which they are kind of long. I didn't mind it that much. It gave me time to like run to the kitchen and get something to drink or something. I thought the game was just fun, and some of the platforming's kind of goofy, but and then the side-scrolling scenes are kind of tricky. But you know, it's got some problems. But I ended up I liked the game a lot, and I know they're never going to make a sequel to this from, you know, at least from the way they talk about it. But I enjoyed it a lot. I just like this game. It's just fun if you just want to see blood and guts and all sorts of stuff everywhere. If you're just in that mood. So, anyway, let's move on. The next game I want to talk about is Castlevania Lords of Shadow. In Castlevania Lords of Shadow, you play as Gabriel Belmont. He's the original Belmont in the story, and yeah, they did revamp it. But I think it's like the year 10-something, and you're basically on a mission to save your wife that was killed a few days before. And you end up running this guy named Zobek. And Zobek looks like Sean Connery, but he's voiced by Patrick Stewart. So that was pretty cool. And then, as you see in this part, this is the first part of the game, you're fighting against werewolves, and this is a warg right here. And he's basically this... I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like a cross between like a warthog and a bear and a wolf. I don't know, but they're just big and mean and nasty. As you see, I keep getting my ass kicked. But the game's, you know, I know a lot of people didn't like the story, but I thought it was cool. I thought, because they, you know, they're the purists, they want to keep Castlevania. But what I really liked about this, they even in the DLC you fight the Forgotten One, and if you guys remember Lament of Innocence, there's a Forgotten One in that. So you know, you guys may want to give this one a try. You know, a lot of people like to call this a God of War clone, or Dante's Inferno clone. But you know what? Let's think about this for a second. God of War is a clone too. It's cloned off of games like Rygar for the PS2 and Soul Reaver from the PS1. It's one of the It's the Legend of Kain game, or Legacy of Kain. Sorry, not Legend of Kain. It's Soul Reaver. They made Soul Reaver 1 and 2, and Raziel is climbing up the walls just like Kratos does, and a lot of the gameplay is similar to God of War, or God of War is a lot similar to that. And Rygar, it's like a lot of the stuff in Rygar from the PS2 version, a lot of the God of War stuff is in there, and everyone likes to say, oh, it's a God of War clone just because God of War is popular. But, you know, by that standard, it's like every side-scroller was, you know, they could have said, oh, this is a side-scroller, you know, it's, you know, Pitfall clone, or Donkey Kong clone, or something. And it's like, there's certain types of games. Just because a game's popular doesn't mean it owns that type of gameplay. But I really enjoyed the story on this. I'm a big Castlevania fan, and yeah, it did start a whole new story, but I like it. I also played the sequel to this on the 3DS, Mirror of Fate, and I'm waiting for the next sequel to this, Lords of Shadow 2. So, as a Castlevania fan, I like it. I love Castlevania, so hey, what can you say? It's in the main, you know, like any game, it's not for everybody. Let's talk about this game. And this game is my favorite PS3 game of all time. And I've played through this. It's been out for a few months, and I've played through this game 3 times now. And every time I play it, I find something new. And it's The Last of Us by Naughty Dog. And in The Last of Us, you play as Joel, and you're trying to get this girl Ellie across the United States to meet up with this group called the Fireflies, because Ellie, it's 20 years in the future after an infection breaks out where everybody turns into these zombie-like creatures, and then they mutate and stuff. So it's a different take on the whole zombie thing. It's a real great survival horror game. But the thing about Ellie is that she's immune to the virus. She was bit and she's not turning. So it's a great third-person shooter with an awesome story, a lot of colorful characters. And you're basically trying to get across. And the one cool thing about, like with survival horror these days, is that you tend to have too many bullets and stuff. This game tends to give you just enough bullets that you can't squander them. So it's really cool in that respect, and the graphics are good, and the story's really good. So,
you know how to fix Bill. That's like I said.
Yeah, The Last of Us. I ended up. I did an unboxing of this. I think I did an unboxing, or I showed it in a video a while back, and I got the one with the book. I got the the survival edition. I wish I would have got the one with the little statue. I didn't know I was going to love the game so much, but yeah, the graphics in this game are great. The story is amazing. And I've got an idea for a sequel. I'd love to do maybe RPG Maker or something, except that, the graphics just don't compare to this. But it'll have, like, the story, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. It may be something I goof around with, but if they make a sequel to this, I'll be very happy camper. I'm still waiting for the DLC. There's supposed to be one single-player DLC coming out. And then there's like 2 multiplayer DLCs, which I was really bummed out because I was hoping there'd be like 3, single-player DLCs for this, the way they made it sound at GameStop. But now they're multiplayer, and I'm not a multiplayer guy. But I'd like to see some, at least they're going to have one single-player, and I don't know which part of the story it takes place. Maybe on the way home, at the end of the game. But they left it open for a sequel, and I'd love to see a sequel when Ellie is a little bit older and Joel's even a little bit older, and maybe they go out again, or maybe Joel's brother, or I don't know, whatever. I just think the game's just everything about it is just so good. The background, just everything I love about this game, and I'll end up playing it another bazillion times in my lifetime. I'm never getting rid of this. And I really take care of this copy, more so than a lot of other games I have. Like my old NES games, I just leave piled up over there. Except the good ones, then I make a case. But a lot of the common ones I have that have stickers all over them, I haven't really sat down and cleaned them. I will eventually. I'll make cases for everything eventually. We're saving to get a house. So when we get a house, I'll end up, doing all that because I'll have more room. Because those cases take up a lot of space. But anyway, this is my list. It's just a short list. It's just games I like. It's not like a top 4 whatever. I just figured I'd sit around and talk about it. I was sitting here tonight. Figured I'd do a video. So, anyway, that's pretty much it. Some other games I like for the PS3. I like the Ghostbusters game. I like the Uncharted series, the God of War stuff. I recently played Skyrim, and it seems like it's got certain things I really like, and then it's got things I don't like. Like, I don't like the repetitive side missions. It seems like every time you go into somewhere, you're just killing people just in collecting stuff. But I do like the dragon stuff. I think that stuff's really cool, and I like the werewolves and the werebears. That kind of stuff I think is cool. But I'll end up putting some time into it and playing it. I recently started playing Final Fantasy IX instead because I needed something a little more cheery. It was just fit my mood recently. And, some other good games on the PS3 I like are, like I said, the Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. They're all really good. The Transformers games were really good. And I'm talking about War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron. They were both really good games. If you're a Generation 1 Transformers fan, they're pretty close to that. And there's a lot of games. I've also got games I want to try. Like I have it's another Sega game called Resonance of Fate, and it's like an RPG, and I haven't had a chance to try it yet. I have it. I also tried that RPG Nier, and it seems pretty cool, but I haven't had a chance to really get into it. It seems like it's going to be one of those long games. I also played Kingdoms of Amalur right when it came out, shortly after it came out. And I put 158 hours into that, and that's about when Skyrim came out. And it's a very good game. and I really enjoyed it. I sat there for like 2.5 weeks doing nothing but playing it. That's when I first became disabled. So I had the time. But yeah, there's just a lot of games. And also things on the PS3 I like to play are the indie games. Like, I love playing that game Limbo. And Trine 1 and 2. Those are really good games. I like the puzzle platformers. All 3 of those games are that. I love the Walking Dead game. That one was really good. Not the first-person shooter one they made, but the Telltale one. And I even played the DLC for that. And I hope they make a sequel to it, or another story. Not really so much a sequel, but you know, another story with a whole new set of characters. I just enjoy that style of game. And but you know, there's a lot of good stuff out there that we don't get to see. I even enjoyed the DuckTales remakes. So, I enjoyed Mega Man 9 and 10, even though 9 I can't finish because it's kicking my butt. But you know, I'm not a great Mega Man player. But Mega Man 10 I beat on easy. In Mega Man 9, I beat almost all the robot bosses. I just got to keep trying. Every once in a while, I get in a Mega Man mood, and I go at it. And you know, I'm not in any big hurry. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. I don't like first-person shooters, as I've stated, you know, in other videos. They're just not for me. I don't like. There's no peripheral vision. There's just bots, and that's all you see. And I don't like it. It just throws me off. It just seems unrealistic as far as being able to see, because you know games aren't realistic, but that's not the point. Being able to see should be. But I'm looking forward to the Batman. I love the Batman games. Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins. I forgot to mention those, and I'm really looking forward to. I liked Metal Gear Solid 4. And I'm looking forward to the Phantom Pain. I watched some footage the other day. It looks really cool. So, I guess that wasn't it. So, now that's it. I'm going to shut up. So, anyway, guys, comment, subscribe, leave a message, tell me, hello, I don't know, anything. But that's pretty much it. So, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.